We got a dub. We got a dub. We got a dub. Four straight to be exact. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I'm hyped up. I don't know if you guys are. What a victory. What's up, everybody? Woo! The Niners, hang on. Hang on for a dub. Woo! That was a tough game. I don't know if it was trap game or if they were looking ahead to the Miami Dolphins, but whatever the case is, it wasn't a pretty game. But the Saints have a good defense. We got to give them that because although they've been banged up, they haven't had a quarterback situation worked out. You lost Drew Brees, you lost your coach Peyton. Their defense is still pretty good, and they gave us a lot of pressure up the middle. They were hurting Jimmy. Offense couldn't get it rolling. They stalled in the red zone again. They just were flat, but the defense put the team on the back. They said, you know what? Let's put the team on the back, though. And the 49ers held on 13-0, a shutout. Fourth straight game where they do not allow a team to score in the second half. Four straight games. D'Amico Ryans, put some respect on that boy. D'Amico Ryans is him, man. He's a beast, and, he needs a lot of credit. Because they had two goal line stands. They were knocking on the door. Saints had a lot of opportunities to score. They were knocking, man. Hufanga, big play. Fred Warner makes some big plays. You had Nick Bosa making some big plays. That sack that Nick Bosa had, that 11.5 sack of the season, just nasty. Fourth down, put the pressure, done. Hufanga, man, I don't know how he came. It was like that. Hufanga's play was like Hittner. Remember when Hittner hit Pierre Thomas? It was kind of like that. Just boom, hit him so hard, jarred the ball out. I was like, oh my God, this man got that dog in him. He got that dog in him. Talanoa Hufanga makes big plays every single week. What did I say today? I said, I want to see Hufanga make a big play. I want to say Hufanga make a big play, and he did it. Nia says, it's not a pretty win, but I'll take it. Hey, I'll take it too. Miami next week, huh? And they was talking that trash, huh? Ooh, we got a game next week. I'm a little worried about it because it is a good game. They got some good receivers. But, hey, let's enjoy this win. Let's not worry about Miami. Let's enjoy Victory Sunday because the 49ers defense, man, you got to give them all the credit in the world. Fred Warner, like I said, just a general out there. 7 tackles, quarterback hit, 2 pass deflections, a forced fumble. The guy was a menace, man. Greenlaw was hitting people hard. Defense stepped up. The secondary was playing pretty tough. Jimmy Ward was coming out there hitting people hard. It was nice, man. Defense really buckled up, and they were driving, and I was like, oh man, Saints are gonna march down and score. And those fourth down, those goal line stances, man, goal line stances. And then you see D'Amico just so hyped up. This defense, man, defense is amazing. Whoo! And you know what's even better? The Seattle Seahawks lost to the Raiders in overtime. The 49ers have sole position of first place. They're in first place right now. Like they're away, like a game ahead. They went from 3-4 to 7-4. They're a whole game ahead. A whole game ahead of the Seattle Seahawks. They lost to the Raiders, man. You gotta love it, man. And again, it doesn't matter how the Niners won. They escaped it. It was a gritty, ugly game, but you win and you survive. Sometimes you're gonna, it is not gonna play a pretty game on offense, but you got to think about this. There were some offensive injuries. Can't blame it on those. There were some bad calls. Can't blame it on those. There were some injuries. So Elijah Mitchell, he sprained the MCL of the opposite knee. They're saying it's not as severe, so it's probably a lower grade. CMC played through knee irritation in the left knee. You can see he was kind of testing it out. He did play through it. Debo played through a quad contusion. He already had the hamstring issue, so his knee, man, his leg's jacked, but he played through it. And Spencer Burford has a lateral ankle sprain. That sucks. I hope he's okay. They do have Brunskill who could come in. So even if Spencer has to miss some time, they have Dan Brunskill. So that will be okay. Jimmy, you know what? Shout out to Jimmy. He didn't make Any turnovers? It wasn't his prettiest game. This was an ugly game by Jimmy. He missed some big plays, missed some passes. He overthrew some receivers. Almost had an interception, got called back, thankfully, because of illegal contact from the defense. But, hey, fourth straight game, he doesn't throw an interception. But he didn't play his best game. If he plays this game against a team, a playoff team, it's not what you're going to want to see. So, shout out to the defense. They carried this team. They made up for the offensive woes, right? And, again, the red zone was just it was just bad. The red zone, I don't know what it is. You got all these weapons. You got Kittle. You got all these guys. Why can't you score in the red zone? It was crazy to me. It was ugly. It was ugly. Yeah, Josh Jacobs, 303 total yards to sad Niner fans. Sheesh. VZ, if you're just getting here, so the injuries, I'll go right through them again. Elijah Mitchell, MCL sprain on the opposite knee that he hurt from the first week. So it's the other knee. CMC had knee irritation, but he played through it. He came back. Spencer Burford, again, the lateral ankle sprain. There's no timetable. We don't know yet. And then Debo, he had a quad contusion, but he played through it. So Sharia says, people got to realize the Saints defense is good. They got Cam Jordan back for this game, and he had one of the oddest weeks ever because of Mexico. You know what? Honestly, man, this was a weird week for the Niners. They went to Mexico Monday night. They had a short week. They didn't get to prepare. The Saints defense is good. We got to come through and give them their props because this Saints defense is good. They got Cam Jordan. They got some ballers on that D line. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time they dropped back, the Niners dropped back in that first half, Jimmy was getting whacked. He was getting whacked. Like, I was just like, God damn. I didn't think Jimmy was gonna make it through this game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Jimmy was gonna leave this game because of an injury. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was like, dude, Brock Purdy's gonna play this game. I literally said that to myself a couple times, and he stayed through. So shout out to Jimmy. He was tough. He was tough, man. He didn't play a good game, but he was tough through it. So I will give him that. Saints had a good O-line. Saints played tough. Again, this was a big game for them. A lot of these teams were playing. They may not have a good record, but this is like their last-ditch effort, right? They got to go out and play balls to the wall because they want to win games. This might be the chance to make the playoffs. They're in a bad division, and that the Saints actually have a chance to still make noise in that division. They're that division. I don't even think there's a team with a winning record in that division. So honestly, the Saints were still playing for a lot left for the season. So shout out to them. They played their ass off, man. They held it down. They played tough, but the Niners defense was better and better and better. God, that defense, man. Second half adjustments, again, they were so good. D'Amico Ryans, I can't tell you, man. D'Amico Ryans is a dog, man. I love D'Amico Ryans, bro. God, he was just sending he made the right calls. And again, in those goal line stances, you could just tell the Niners were like, you are not scoring. They were playing so tough. Like, they did not want to let the Saints score. They played so hard in that red zone. I was like, God, man, they do not want to let this score. And they didn't. So shout out to the Niners defense, man. You got to give it to them. Again, going back to offense, some injuries. So because Elijah Mitchell's out, we're going to get to see some Jordan Mason. So it sucks to see Elijah Mitchell go down, but we're going to get to see some Jordan Mason, I'm pretty sure, for the next couple weeks. They have TDP. He was inactive today. But you got some running backs. Everybody's like, oh, no, Mitchell's out. Should have kept Wilson. They do got some backs. You got to remember, they got TDP. He was drafted in third round, and everybody's hype train player of the offseason, Jordan Mason. So they got guys that could come in, right? So I think they'll be okay there. Let's talk about Juwan Jennings. Shall we talk about Juwan Jennings? Got that dog in him. Second quarter, end of the second quarter, that drive was the Juwan Jennings drive. Third and long, boom, Juwan Jennings. And then he goes up and he routes to the cornerback, Chris Harris Jr., and he put him on. Allen Iverson cross. He said, da, 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 da. And Chris Harrison was like, what the? And then boom, catches it, sideline. Harrison has a late hit on him. He was so mad. And then, boom, tip drill. Juwan Jennings jumps up and gets it. What a dog, man. That drive was Juwan Jennings all the way. Touchdown. I'm so happy he got his first touchdown, man. Shout out to Juwan Jennings. I know the offense was struggling, but, Juwan Jennings did his thing, and he was a beast, man. He was a beast. Juwan's a dog, man. I'm so happy he got that touchdown. If you guys know about my bet with Smitty, he was texting me. He goes, uh-oh, you finally got it, Roz. I was like, thank God. I was going crazy. I was like, finally, Jennings got that touchdown. Because me and Smitty got a touchdown bet with Juwan Jennings, and he needed to get some. Glad he got on the board. He was a dog. That was a huge drive. But yeah, man, he was probably the best player on that offense. He carried them. Like my game ball on offense, Juwan Jennings, 100%. Game ball on defense, I'm gonna give it to Hufanga, man. That guy made a clutch money play. I mean, so many times he was hitting dudes. I mean, dropping the hammer. And that forced fumble on the goal line was money. God, Hufanga is such a star. He's made so many big plays. Give him an all pro this year. Give him an all pro. Give him an all pro, man. Oh man. Gold Blooded says the way the offense was going down with injuries. Let me see. Let me see what he says. He says might have been a blessing that they didn't see much of the field. You know, that's a good comment actually because they were getting banged up. I think they were tired from that Mexico game, and the Saints, man, they were hitting them hard. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, the Saints were hitting them so hard. I mean, helmets to the head, or not the head, but the helmets were coming at them, and they were hitting them with authority. Like the Saints were coming at them. I don't know if they were trying to hurt them hard or hit them hard or whatever, but the Saints were laying a licking on them. So you're right. The fact that they didn't, get to stay much on the field the second half might have been a good thing for them because they probably would have got more players hurt because they were falling down like flies. I think they just weren't ready. Again, short week. They came out of Mexico. They didn't practice as much. You had CMC get hurt. You had Debo get hurt. Elijah Mitchell, Spencer Burford. Might have been a blessing. I think you're right, man. It was one of those wins where you hate to see these injuries. You want to win the game, but then there's like these lingering issues afterwards. I mean, it's football. You're going to see it. But, man, I hate these types of wins sometimes because you do kind of pay a price. So, oh, man. Yeah, the bounty scandal, right? Oh, man. Jimmy looked like he was in a lot of pain. He did, Nia. He was getting cracked. Yo, Alvin, let's talk. Yo, Fred Warner was bullying. Oh, my God, man. I tell you what, Fred Warner, he was taking it to Kamar. Like, he was dropping this man left and right. Like, they made him look silly. They beat his teeth in. Like, yo, Alvin Kamara got abused on this game. Fred Warner, he did the damn thing to Kamara, man. He dog walked them. I loved it. They were hit hard. They were hitting them so hard. It was good to see. Is TDP hurt? No, he was just inactive because they got Mason ahead of him. They dressed 3 running backs: Elijah Mitchell, Christian McCaffrey, and Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason's their running back 3. I think he's won that battle so far. TDP's not hurt though. Gold Blooded says I'm really not feeling good about Miami now that Mitchell will probably be out. I like Mitchell, but he hasn't played a lot of these games. And they do have Mason. And again, the Dolphins have a big injury. They lost Teron Armstead, one of their best defenders, to a pec injury. So, honestly, it is tough to lose Mitchell. But the Niners have enough firepower to handle losing a guy like Mitchell. It's not going to be easy. It's definitely going to make the game tougher. It is going to make it a little bit more nerve-wracking. But I think we have enough players to kind of step up for Mitchell. We got a loaded offense. CMC, again, he did have a knee irritation in the game today. He played through it, so it doesn't seem like it was too bad. But I'm sure they'll limit him through the week. Yeah, let's get some respect on Mason, man. I hope we see more of him too as well, BZ. Like he's tough. He's a hard run. When he runs with purpose. Like he runs so hard. Greenlaw's gonna put Tua on IR. Don't run at him. J. Ross says Waddle and Hill gonna have a field day if we don't get pressure. It might be a shootout. This might be a shootout because defense for the Dolphins is really not that great, but they got some dogs on offense. We're gonna have to stay up and score. Like this is the thing. Niners play like this today on offense, and the Dolphins can play the way they usually do on offense. It might be an ugly game for us. But I think the Niners defense, again, I don't know if the Dolphins really play the defense as tough as the Niners. They can hit you in the mouth. But you're right. They have to get pressure. And today the Niners were getting pressure, man. Nick Bosa was just eating that backfield. Fred Warner. And that's the thing. Second half adjustments, man. D'Amico Ryans, I love the guy. Love the guy. Whew. Lenore and Womack. Womack stepping up when he gets his name called. Yeah, well, shout out to Womack. He does make a lot of big-time plays when he's needed. You know, he doesn't get a lot of opportunities, but he's making the most of them. I know Lenore didn't have the greatest moments, but the Saints, you know, they weren't going to throw on Mooney Ward, and they had some big plays here and there. You know, Lenore's tough. He's tough, man. He's going through it. He wants to get picked on, and they're going to pick on him. Sometimes he makes a big play, and sometimes he lets a big play. He's still young. He's still learning. But you know what? The Niners got a goose egg on him. So at the end of the day, yeah, he got beat on a few plays, but at the end, it's a team game, and the whole defense played together, and they played their ass off, and they prevented the Saints from scoring when it mattered. Like, they might have drove down there, but that red zone defense was unbelievable. They were out of this world, bro. It was crazy. What's taking OBJ so long to sign with team? I don't know anymore. He's a baby. He's got this whole like agenda. I'm gonna meet with the Cowboys, and I'm gonna go meet with the. I'm done. By the time he signs, it's gonna be the Super Bowl week, and he's just gonna sign with the best team. King Geo says, "I can see us beating them, which is Miami, easy, and people tripping about how they're not that good, anyways." I don't know, man. I don't know if it's gonna be an easy win. I mean, if it is, I'd be happy, but it's gonna be tough. Miami's a good team because they have a good head coach. You know, he knows their system, man. It's basically the Miami Niners. We're playing ourselves. We're basically playing the Miami version of ourselves. So it's gonna be, you know, he knows our team. He knows our plays. VZ says, OBJ kicked off a plane, gold-blooded, that fool passing. Y'all heard about that today? He was like he was drunk on the plane, basically. And then he started tweeting all this nonsense. They kicked him off the plane because he wouldn't put a seatbelt on. He was like out of it. That's silly, dude. I mean, he didn't do any. He didn't like try to resist or anything. But I mean, still, come on, man. Drunk on a plane, idiot. I don't know about the guy. He's a little weird. That was kind of crazy today, but it's not going to affect anybody signing him. But that definitely was something crazy. Unbelievable, man. S Flood. I think he just walked in. So the word on Mitchell is he has an MCL sprain of the opposite knee that he sprained last time. So they don't know the severity, but they said it's not as serious as it was last time. So my guess is probably like a grade 1, and maybe it's about a 2 to 3 week injury. So MCL sprain. Yeah. Marnisha says Miami's offense may be fire, but they don't have the defense that we have. Defense may win this. Yeah, and that's it. The backbreaker, the Achilles heel of the Miami Dolphins is their defense. And that is what carried us today. The Niners do have to play a complete game, though. They need to be able to play better on offense next week because Miami Dolphins can't score at a high pace. Yeah, that's funny. Not he's gonna get himself in the no-fly list. But yo, man, you guys tell me who your favorite players of the game were today. Sorry, I'm still a little sick. But you guys tell me your favorite players of the game today. Again, I told you, I think Juwan Jennings was the X factor on offense. Talanoa Hufanga was that X factor on defense. But man, this defense carried this team. Without this defense, I don't know what the heck would happen. But shout out to the Niners. First place in the NFC West. 4 straight games. They went from 3-4 to 7-4, man. It's unbelievable. They're making this like they did it last year. I can't believe it. The odds are insane. They were 3-5 last year. They were 3-4 this year, and now they're in first place. Crazy. 49er dog to Juwan and Fred. Yo, Fred was yeah, you know what? Fred was a dog today. He's like, you know what's crazy? Like everybody was down on Fred. Oh, he's not the best linebacker. He's just not playing. The last like 5 weeks, this guy's played better than I've ever seen him play in his whole career. Like Fred Warner, these last 4, like on this 4-game winning streak, this is the best Fred Warner I've ever seen. Not just this year, it's ever. Like this is the best Fred Warner I think I've ever seen. He is on another level. He's flying, getting in the backfield, getting his hand on passes. He's just playing his ass off, man. Yeah, Ayuk had some nice plays, man. He's such you could tell he's like a new safety blanket. Jimmy trusts Ayuk. He trusts him a lot. He was getting it. I wish he would have got a little bit more, but shout out to Juwan Jennings. He was holding it down. A lot of people says, Huff, got that decorating the Christmas. Yeah, I did that on Thanksgiving. Yeah. What do I think about the CMC usage? Yeah, it was a little different today. He did have that injury. He played through it. I think they were just trying to not get him hurt. It was weird. Like, I feel like they still don't know how to get CMC involved enough. And then sometimes they use him too much on plays that they probably could give to Mitchell, or somebody else. So I just want to see them keep using him on the outside runs or those dump off plays. I feel like they didn't utilize those enough today, but the Saints were bringing a lot of pressure. So maybe they just didn't have the time to do that. I think he will play next week. Again, he played through the left knee irritation today. I think they'll be very cautious with him in practice. They'll make sure that they don't overdo it with him. But I do think that he'll play next week. It's a big game next week. I don't think that they're going to take any chances, though. They might limit him a little bit if, he continues to have the issues. But, it's football. You're going to get hurt. You're going to be sore. They'll monitor it through the week. But I do want to see them use him on the outside a lot more. I just feel like there's just still more you can do with them. You know what I mean? But when they get him in the outside open spaces, the guy's electric. Get him get him outside, get him open space. But sometimes they still want to run him up the middle. And I'm like, that's just not CMC. See? Need to see more of Kittle and Dwelly. Yeah, I feel the same. I think they were trying to get it to Kittle because Kittle did get quite a bit of looks today. The offense just wasn't clicking. They just wasn't there. Defense was, again, the Saints defense was on our ass, man. They were on our ass. They were hitting Jimmy like nobody's business. And in the red zone, it's like the Niners were confused. They confused themselves in the red zone today. Like, they got so down. They got all the way down, and I'm like, touchdown's going to happen. And it's just like they couldn't figure out who are they going to get the ball to. You know what I mean? It's just like they kind of fell apart in the red zone. So it's the same issue they've been having. It's just those red zone deficiencies. S. Flood says, yeah. Did the Raiders come back on Seattle? They did. Seattle lost. Niners are in first place. Crazy. Niners always selling the Reds. Guys, it's crazy, isn't it? Kittle was needed on the O-line today. Yeah, you know what, Bree? Jimmy was getting crushed out there. They did have to utilize Kittle out there on the blocking a little bit more today. But they did try to get him the ball a lot, through the game. I did see them try to get, like, Kittle had his targets, his fair share of looks, but he just didn't have that big play, like explosive play that you're like, come on, man. It just feel like the offense was lacking today. But again, there were some injuries. They were kind of, again, getting hit around. Saints were just flying at him, man. Cameron Jordan's good, and you gotta give credit to the Saints defense. They were coming at him hard. They were, man. What I got? Packers, Eagles. Eagles gonna take this game. Packers are done. Gold-blooded says, didn't know we were last in the league on 3rd and 1 stops. Yeah, that was interesting, actually. The booth did say that today that the 49ers were last place on 3rd and short stops. And that is a good comment by Gold-blooded is we really need Ark Armstead, man. He's so good in the middle, neutralizing the run, stuff in the gut. We need Armstead back. No disrespect to anybody else, McGill or anybody on the team. But Armstead's a little different. That's why he gets paid that big money. So hopefully he comes back soon. He did come back to practice this week for the first time since week 4. But man, oh man, we definitely need Ark Armstead in the middle. Yeah. Got to let everybody on the injury report rest, Zay says. Miami's a tough game. It's going to be rough, man. But, I feel like this is a game. I don't want to say that we're going to lose. But if we lose, it's a game that we can afford to lose. You know what I mean? Like, there is a little cushion. Now that the fact that the Seattle Seahawks lost to the Raiders, there's a good chance that, there's a cushion. We have a little cushion. You don't want to lose it. You want to continue to stack up the wins and pile up the wins ahead of Seattle. You want to kind of keep building your lead on them. But it is a game that if we end up losing, which I hope we don't, it's like, okay, we can kind of absorb this because we do have a game ahead of Seattle. You don't want to lose it, but it's going to be tough games. Miami's not easy. They got a crazy offense. Yeah, I want to catch Minnesota too. And that's the thing. You got to continue to get these wins. I don't know if we'll catch the Eagles, but we can probably catch Minnesota. It's close. And the Cowboys? We can catch them. But at the end of the day, the more we win, the better we have to get like a second seed and get that home field advantage through the playoffs until we play the Eagles, So I want the Niners to play at home. I don't want them to have to play on the road. If we have good home field advantage. Although no matter where we go, I think we can travel and make the win because our team, our fan base will make sure they're there and be very loud. But it is nice to play at home because you don't have to travel. You get to stay home. It's just a lot easier. Just not stressful on you. You know, the travel takes a lot of toll on you. You practice in your own place. You don't have to worry about, getting on a flight. It's tiring. Tiring. Minnesota. Yeah, I hate Minnesota too. I just don't like Kirk Cousins. Never have, never will. Shanahan loves him though. But yeah, man, shout out to the Niners tonight. That was a big game, man. I'm hyped up. That was a good win, man. 2 home games are better than 1, which is better than none. Last year they ran out of gas. Go Blooded, that's true. I agree. I was tired from going to these road games. I can only imagine the players. I went to all those playoff games. By the time you travel all the way to the NFC Championship, and they had to travel to Dallas, Green Bay, LA. It's a lot of traveling. And all the energy that they had to expend in the games, that's already enough, that you have to expect, the energy that you have to waste on a weekly basis on a playoff game. They went and spent a lot of energy winning those games. And then they had to travel on top of it. I think they did run up the gas too. But you're right. If they can get some home field games this year, get some games at home, more than 1. 1's cool. I'll take 1. But if they can get 2, that's going to help them go a long way. They won't be as gassed out. Nia says, I think the offense bounces back from Miami. Short week and the holiday were a factor today. Yeah, we did talk about that. That's something that definitely was a factor. I mean, you gotta realize, man, they went to Mexico. They traveled. It was Monday night. They come back, late night flight. They barely get home, late in the morning. They barely had time to rest. They had to get back to practice the next day. The day after that was Thanksgiving. It's not like they did much. And then they had a practice Friday, so they're tired. They didn't get a lot to rest. So the fact they won out there, more power to them. They must be exhausted, man. I hope they all get some rest tonight. Diego says, am I going to the next game? Yeah, I will be out there. 49er dog. Did I see Russell Wilson getting yelled at? He did get yelled at by Mike Purcell. I don't know if you guys remember Mike Purcell. He used to be on the 49ers, defensive lineman. Most famous for his touchdown in a preseason game against the Cowboys. It was like a pick 6, big man, number 6. I mean, he was like a big dude, just rumbling down, rumbling, tumbling, and he scores a touchdown. I'm sure he's always hated Russell Wilson since he was a Niner, but he let Russell have it today. He let him have it today. Man. You can't remember a second half offensive play except the last series. It was kind of a blur. They didn't do much. The first drive they came out, and then they had to punt it. And after that, it was the Saints on the attack, and the Niners just had to keep stopping them. And then they punted. It's just bad. It was just bad play. Just couldn't get anything. Did I see the Rams coach catch a hot one on Thursday? Yeah, you see McVay. Guy was coming out. Defensive player comes out and just clocked him. That had to hurt. That hurt me. I was like, ooh. I've been bumped into like that. That hurts. I feel bad for McVay. That got to hurt. But, man, big dubs. Happy victory Sunday. It's a good win, man. Good win. I will say it wasn't perfect for the 49ers. Offense was definitely stalling. Red zone O-line was just not looking hot today. McGlinchey with the big hold. God, man, I don't know. He was getting pushed. He was getting pushed around. And again, I mean, they were in that backfield a lot. Cam Jordan was, even Trent Williams. I saw some times where Trent Williams, he looked like he was just befuddled taking on Cam Jordan. I was like, oh. There was one play where, Cam just zooms through the line, and Trent's like, oh, and Jimmy got cropped, but he gets the pass off. I mean, man, Jimmy was getting rocked. So, Mason, Jordan Mason looked good. I liked what I saw out of Jordan Mason. He looked pretty nice. He's a power guy. He just runs with, authority. The thing that I like about Jordan Mason is, he knows he doesn't have a lot of opportunities. He knows he has to make the most of them. He has to make the most of his opportunities. When you're an undrafted guy, he ran so hard. So if we don't get Mitchell next week, I'm gonna be fine with the Jordan Mason. That guy could run so hard, man. But next week's going to be crazy because we do have to face the Miami 49ers. Jeff Wilson, Mike McDaniel. I don't know if Raheem Mostert's going to play. After all that talk, he might. He was doubtful today. He had a knee injury. I hope Jimmy G heals tonight. Yeah, man. I hope Jimmy's all right. He took, like I said, he took some shots, man. Shout out to Jimmy. He was tough. He's a warrior, man. He's tough as nails. So shout out to Jimmy. Yeah, we definitely can't have Brock Purdy out there next week. We take an L. No disrespect to Brock Purdy, but it's the Miami Dolphins. I got to see Tua versus Jimmy. I got to see Tua versus Jimmy, baby. It's gonna be good. I hope they flex that game. They should flex it. They gotta flex it, baby. I hope that I see a breaking news update tomorrow. Was Mostert talking mess? Y'all, Kevin, you didn't see it? Oh, God, did you not see it? Did you not see it? Raheem Mostert? He said, this is what Raheem Mostert said. He said a lot of stuff. This is one thing. Let me pull up the tweet. He goes, we have a bet. So this is what he said. This is what Raheem Mostert says. Am I going to post the Wilson tweet? I'll probably post it this week. We have better talent here. It's going to get spooky. He says, we have listen to this one. We have a quarterback who can actually sling it. Oh, shit. Shots fired. He says, we have a quarterback who can sling it. Why are you talking all this trash? Man, I can't wait for Miami. I cannot wait for this game, man. Look at this. Someone violated. I think it was Sad Niners fan. This is one of my favorite Twitter accounts. I think he's in the chat tonight. Sad Niners fan. He tweeted, Raheem Mostert without the 2019 NFC Championship. Y'all ready for this picture? He posted a picture of Raheem Mostert working at McDonald's. That's a low blow. Oh, my God. Look at that. He says, Raheem Mostert, if he didn't have the 2019 NFC Championship, he's a McDonald's worker. Killed him. Oh, my God, man. People are going, Niner fans are not happy at the guy. This is blood game, man. This is a blood match. I can't wait for this game, man. Jimmy Robinson's, our corners are going to get cooked versus Miami. It's a test. You ain't lying. This is going to be a test. They have to get pressure. If they don't get pressure, it's going to be a long night, my man. That's going to be a long night. 100%. I don't disagree with you. They have to get pressure up on Tua, man. If you can't get pressure on Tua, Tyreek Hill can separate against anybody. He can separate on any cornerback in this league, man. The guy's elite. You can't even doubt it. You can't even talk crap. And Jalen Waddle, he set the record for the most yards by a wide receiver in 2 years. Like this guy, and he's still going. Jalen Waddle's good, man. Yeah. Shades, what's up, Shades? Says Raheem won't show up in the stadium for that game. He might not. He's hurt already. Yeah, your seats are on the visitor side. You're going to hear from you? Let's go. Yeah, we do need Armstead bad next week. I hope he comes back. We'll see what happens. Where are my seats at? I don't even know. Let me check my seats. Where we at? Where y'all at? I can't wait for this game already, man. Not Miami, Niners. Whew. Miami versus Niners, man. It's going to be a fun game. I got to check my tickets. Make sure they're still valid. I'm sure they are. Let's see. Home, schedule, team, more. Manage tickets. Oh, here we go. Okay. Miami Dolphins. Oh, they won't load? What's going on? Tickets ain't loading. Uh-oh. We're going to have to call them up. Damn it. I know I got my tickets. It says it won't load. Something went wrong. Their app's probably all jacked up. Better make sure I have my tickets. I'm going to call them up. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. That's why he's talking trash to Rosa, because he won't be there. He doesn't have to face his old teammate. You know what? That's kind of shit. Regardless, the fact that he's talking trash, like, he shouldn't be. This is the thing. And I got respect for Mostert because he did play so good in the playoffs, and he was a big part of that 2019 season. But here's the thing, man. The 49ers gave him an opportunity after many teams gave up on. Like, he was cut from many teams. The 49ers gave him an opportunity to shine. He took the most of it, because no other teams really gave him that opportunity. And he took it. And Shanahan says, okay, I'm going to put you in this team. You were a good special teamer. Now let's incorporate you into the offense. And he really took off with Shanahan, And then in that playoff run, it was like, oh, he's a special player. And then after that, he wanted more money. He was like, look, I took you guys this far. I should get more money. And okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you should get more money. I get it. But the way he kind of like stomped his feet and he tweeted it with his agent, it was kind of like, oh, dude, come on, dude. I get it. Everybody wants money. But the way he went about it, and then he was like, oh, it's dramatic, bro. Like, I had his back a lot. I'm not even going to lie to you. I had Raheem's back like so much. You all remember, anytime people was taking trash on him, I had his back. And then you leave the roster, and now you're sitting there and your snarky comments, like, come on, dude, I can't respect you if you're going to throw the team under the bus after you leave. Like, if you had this ill will feeling, you should have just straight up said it. Don't sit there and be don't be fake. Like, that's the thing. He was fake about it, man. Because now all this stuff's coming out like after the fact. And it was weird that it was today, right? The week before the Miami game, all of a sudden this like report comes out, and I'm like, the timing is a little weird. It's a little weird, isn't it? It's a little weird. Who we talk about? Raheem Mostert. Talking that trash on the Niners. He tried to clear it up. You can't clear that up. Like, at that point, you already know you got caught, bro. You can't just stand. And then if you're going to try to clear it up like that, you're not going to stand by your word. So no matter what you say, I don't believe what you say now. Like, you either said it or you didn't, man. Don't take it back. Don't go on the guy's report. You know the media is, and if it's not true, and you know how the media is going to be, they're going to take your words and they're going to report it. And maybe they might put a little spice in it. But hell, man, that was on an article. You said what you said. Don't come back after the article's written and say, oh, that's not the way I meant it. Say what you got to say the first time. Use your words. He's a big man. He's an adult. Say what you got to say. It's fake love, yeah, 100%, Zay. At the end of the day, the Niners got the dub today. Is victory Sunday, 13-0 shutout. Niners defense is elite. And you know what, man? I got to give DeMeco Ryans all the flowers in the world, man. This guy, a couple weeks ago, everybody said, oh, he's terrible. I know the Chiefs are good team, but he took that game personally. They haven't let up a single point in the second half of any game. Took that personally, man. They made the adjustments so well this whole month, man. They haven't scored a touchdown. Nobody scored a point on the 49ers in the second half in a month. Man. Shout out to DeMeco on this defense, bro. Shout out to Talanoa Hufanga. And shout out to John Lynch for scouting this guy. I found out this was actually John Lynch's guy. It's not Kyle's guy. It wasn't Adam Peters. I thought this was Adam Peters. But from my understanding, this was the John Lynch pick. Like, he wanted, because he saw Hufanga. He saw himself in Hufanga. He saw him. He's like, this is me. And Talanoa Hufanga has become a superstar, man. We got a premium safety. We got premium linebacking core and a premium defensive line. Defense is insane. I know our quarterbacks have been banged up and whatever. They're playing their ass off, man. Shout out. So, I wish we had Mosley still. But, you know what? This whole defense is amazing. So, it is what it is. Jimmy took a licking and kept on ticking. You know what he did? Again, we talked about Jimmy taking the hits. I will give him his flowers for that, because that man, I don't know how he took those hits. I didn't take the jersey off because I was like, Jimmy been taking those hits. He didn't play perfect today. But Jimmy, you know what? There was a stat today that they posted. Jimmy Garoppolo tied Steve Young for the most wins by a 49ers quarterback through 59 games. Now, I know it wasn't all Jimmy. I know a lot of it was the defense and the run game carrying him. But it is a pretty big stat, man. Jimmy keeps ticking, man. Now, he's the X factor for this team. Because if he played the way he played today, and that interception goes the other way, and the defense doesn't play the way it played today, we got a problem. So he has played well overall, but today wasn't his best game. He did miss some big throws. His timing was off. The play to CMC, the wheel route was ugly, but he was under duress a lot. Again, O-line needs to fix that up. The O-line needs to play better, and red zone needs to be better. So those were the big issues. Defense was good. Secondary could tighten up, though. I will say that because they are going to play 2 big-time receivers next week, Waddle and Hill. They got to tighten up for those guys. But you know what? Let's enjoy this dub. Victory Sunday. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your day. I'll be live a little later. I'm going to take a little break. I'm a little winded. Man, I've been sick all week, so I'm trying to pace myself. Sprint, not a marathon, but or a marathon, not a. Y'all have a good rest of your day, man. I love you. We got the dub. Niners get the shutout. Shout out to the defense, man. Shout out to the defense. Bang, bang. Not a gang. I've taken a lot of medicine, Nia. I think I had too much medicine in my system. Honestly, like today, I felt weird because I just have so much medicine. So I tried not to take medicine today. And now I'm like, I gotta take some medicine. So anyways, I love you guys. Appreciate the concern. We'll be back live a little later. Let's go watch the rest of the Sunday night football game. Bang, bang. Niner gang. I'm going to get some cough drops. You're right.